Today it's Habakkuk's turn to get a restoration, and this will be part one. Now I got really ahead on this for the simple fact that that it's taken way too long to do some of these, and these are getting longer and longer. And what you see is every word from the New American Standard Concordance put into a different style. And what you see here took me a while to find this, but it's 3 verse, 3 verse, 3 verse, and the blue words are going to be removed. And I thought I would go over some because there still needs to be some adjustments. And as I told you before, an oracle is something that's a pagan would do. This would have to be, if he saw it, it's a vision. So we need a vision here. And this is from our Creator, so it needs to be capitalized. And this needs to be taken out. A vision from or through Habakkuk. And then we can get rid of this, because we know he's a prophet, but I'm just saying it's not needed. Because a vision only happens to prophets, and that's a prophecy coming from our Creator. But it doesn't start out as our Creator talking. What it is it seems that he's crying out to our Creator by saying, "How long, YV, will I call for help and you will not hear me?" How long, YV, will I call out for your help and will you not hear me? I cried to you about their violence. Why do you make me see iniquity and cause me to look on their wickedness? Now, these words don't need to be here because I know that there's the 3 verse, and you're going to see me find others that need to be replaced. Why do you make me make me see iniquities? Now, notice this, and cause me to look on wickedness. Now, let me show you the deceivement that's going on in the text. Because here we have iniquity, okay? And over here are all these words. And we have wickedness used 15 times. Now watch when I hit wickedness. I only have wickedness being used twice. So it's more that the first word is wickedness. So what's the second word really meaning? And I was looking and I'm thinking that there's sorrow, there's misery, there's sorrow. And I thought misery would be a good word to use. This misery. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change this word to a more correct word. And I'm going to remove wickedness and put in misery. Now, why do you make me see their wickedness. And cause me to look on our misery, our his people, the good ones in the land. Destruction and violence are before me. Strife exists, and contentions arise. Let me take a look at the word contentions there. I'm looking for words that for a 12-year-old to be able to read and understand and not have to go seeking a secular dictionary for an answer. And you can see here, I can use the word strife because it's only been, well, contentions. Well, it seems that it is being used as contentions. So I guess I shouldn't change it if we're going to try to stay true to the text here a little bit. It's just that I was just trying to see what I can do here. Sorry, I should have blown this up a little bit, make it easier for you. Strife exists and contention arises. Your law is ignored. I would say your commandments are ignored. Or, yeah, your commandments are ignored, and justice is never upheld, for the wicked surround the righteous. And righteous means when you obey our Creator, you're a righteous person. That's why Noah was righteous. He obeyed our Creator. So we need to give those are the good people, so they deserve a capital letter. So when you're reading it, you understand who I'm talking about, the righteous people. Justice comes out perverted. Let's see about perverted. Can we change that for them? Nope, it's actually only used once in the whole Bible, and justice comes out perverted. Look among the nations, observe and be astonished. Now here, the words nations is actually referring to a nation is defined as a group of like states, which are the tribes lands. So tribes, look among the tribes. Observe and be astonished. Just how many are leaving you is what he's saying. Wonder because I'm doing something in your days you would not believe if you were told. Now here, this text is reading out of place. This sounds like our Creator is speaking. Now, but if I try to tie it to this here, words here, justice comes out perverted. Let's see. I'm looking to see if these two and these two to get together. There's a format where all of a sudden two groups can make a larger paragraph. And those two exist together. No, they don't really mix really well. I mean, when they do, they really are a larger paragraph, and that's just not as good as I'm thinking it should have been for a two grouping. But what that does is tells me that something is wrong here, because Yeah, this is just not reading right. So I'm going to leave it yellow, as it could go someplace else in the text. And that's important because, well, you're going to see something happen here in the formatting. I am rising up the Chaldeans, a fierce and impetuous people will march through the earth. Okay, now I have to go back here and I have to say I was wrong. Now it's kind of like this is after he's heard something. He's going to say, this is what you're going to do. Because you are going to do something in our days that they would not believe, even if they were told. For you are rising up the Chaldeans that are fierce, and this is not, anyways, because you are let's see, just comes out perverted, look among the tribes of Zabur and be just astonished. But you are, yeah, it would be, but you have, but you are, but you be astonished, but you are doing something in our days. But you are to do something in our days. But you are going to do something in our days. You are going, yes, that needs to be, but you are going to do something in our days that they will not believe. And that's because he sent many prophets and they didn't. This isn't just coming out of the blue. He's been warning them several times for a long time through many prophets. You would not believe, even if you told them. Whoops. Even if you for you are I forgot which key I'm supposed to hit here. Okay. For you are rising up the Chaldeans. Now this doesn't sound right when I'm reading it because it says a fierce and impetuous people, impetuous. Now you can see the words off to the side here. And the word quick, this one is hurried. Hurried seems to be of fierce and Hurrian people who march through the earth. Hasty people. I think hasty would be a good word to put in here, so we can do that. A fierce and hasty people who march throughout the lands to seize dwelling, lands. I would put kingdom because the earth, they didn't go all over the earth, okay? So I'm trying to be more descriptive here. And this is just trying to be truthful at all times here. Who march throughout the lands to seize dwelling places not their own. They are dreaded and feared for their justice and authority oriented within from themselves. I'm trying, that's just for their justice and authority are for themselves. Yeah, I'm going to put that are for, whoops, and I forget the word are, for themselves. Are for themselves. Their horses are swifter than leopards and keener than wolves. Although I'd have a hard time with keener than wolves. I would put on horses. Because I don't want the horse to be on horses. They are swift. They are swift. Oh, like leopards. And I'm not sure if leopards were around at that time. That's jackals were, and jackals were, I don't know if they're swift. I'm thinking I've seen a few things on them. I'm going to have to leave that word as yellow as in question. And keener than wolves, so that's them, that's keener than like wolves. Okay, now that sounds a little bit better. In the evening, their horsemen come galloping. Their horsemen come from afar. Now, let's put it this way. If they're dreaded and feared, and I've got to pull up a map to show you what's going on here. Okay, let's see here. All right. Now, this is where they're coming from, okay? Now, there's only about this 10-mile area that has any greenery around here. These people aren't the fierce ones. It's either Assyria or Babylon that's being feared. They're the ones out there conquering, and somebody's either conquering one way or the other right now. And to me, it sounds like Babylon. because they've already done this, and we know that Babylon becomes the gather of all this area, all the way down. There is a river right in through here that's called the Egypt River. So I believe that's where they would divide the land between Egypt and Babylon. But they would have took over Persia, they would have took over here, they would have took over Gomer. So here's the thing. I don't see this as Babylon. I don't see it as Chaldeans. Okay, just so you know where I'm coming from, because the Chaldeans never went around conquering. So raise up the Babylonians. I don't know how to spell. And they're bad guys, so we ain't gonna give them no capital. And now we have the truth that it's not those guys. Although they did join, they didn't need to be conquered, they joined, okay? Because they knew the territory and the land down here, so they were pretty much involved when they came down here with them, and they did divide up the booty, and some captives went to the Chaldeans. So they were gathering the lands, a fierce and hasty people who marched throughout the lands, saying, to seize dwelling places not their own, they are dreaded and feared, which would have been Babylon at the time, because, and it would have been before Nebuchadnezzar that was doing this. Nebuchadnezzar was only, I think, 14 or 16 when you do his story, and you can't have him 95 or 100 when you add up all the text in the Bible that they say that here he is. No, he wasn't there that long. Lifespans weren't that long back then. We have texts that were saying 70, that 60 and 70 were, you know, the limit, and 80, if they could hit 80s if they had the strength to do it. So like they were able to, just like we have now, people living a little bit longer than everybody else. Keener than the wolves at evening. In the evening their horses come galloping. Their horses come from afar, and that would be from afar, okay? I don't see it. Okay, the horsemen come from afar. They fly like an eagle, swooping down to devour. I think that could be improved on. All of them come for violence. Their horde of faces moves forward. Well, yeah, let me change this to, I can accept that that word is good, and I would add this word myself. Moves forward to collect captives like sand. They mock kings and the rulers, the leaders, because you can have only one king, and you could have, and the commanders, and as commanders, they're laughing matter, and their commanders. Because if they're going to war all the time, it's these commanders that couldn't get them, couldn't defeat them. And did I spell that right? I don't think so. Yep, 2 M's. Okay. And their commanders are a laughing matter. And they laugh at every one of their fortresses, because because what they were doing was they were starving them out. They surrounded the land and just waited them, because there was a horde of so many of them that they could just come in and put up tent and starve them out. A heap of rubble to capture, they swoop through like wind and pass on. So I would use the word like as well. But they will be held guilty, whose strength is their God. And I would say gods, because Babylon had many gods, okay? But you are everlasting. But you are everlasting, YV. And our Holy One will not die. And that's the promise, that he's going to enter into heaven and live with our Creator forever. So we're talking about Jesus here. So, and it would be, to enter into heaven is to be holy, okay? Just so you know that what we're talking about here. Our Holy One, meaning one of them, David's son's son, as our Creator said, and he will not die, as our Creator's promise is for. This needs to be cleaned up. For you have, oh, what happened? Oh, don't tell me. Oh, I got a new document here. I'm thinking, what the heck? I hit something, did something there. There it is. You have appointed him to judge. Your rock will be established. Yeah, you have appointed him to judge. Well, actually not judge. It would be, because he's a king, you have appointed him king, our king. Oops. our King. Well, it would be, I guess, our rock, Jesus, our rock. Will be established because he's being established by Jesus or by our Creator. So those words have to be used so anybody reading the text understands the direction. Because I'm not sure everybody understands the story when they pick up the text and will be reading it from get-go. I'm sure the atheist who doubter and he's going through and he's kind of reading, this is to help define and control who's who and what is what and what's promised. You don't know the promise, but the promise is coming. Our rock will be established to lead us. A king leads. And that is, again, our Creator's promise to us. Okay, now the text is picking up some 4 verses. If you're looking here at what's going on. Your eyes are too pure to approve evil. Why do you look with favor on them? Yeah, because it's why are you silent when the wicked swallow up those more righteous than they are, than they are. Why are you silent when the wicked swallow up those more righteous than they are? Okay, your eyes are too pure to approve evilness. Why do you not look with favor on us? Like he's just letting them overtake him. I'm just trying to put myself in the writer's words here and get it correct, because it's just a double type of thing, so we know it's a 3-verse format and that needs to be taken out. Just like here, you can see here, we already know who we're talking about here. Why are you silent when the wicked swallow up those more righteous than they are? And why have you made men? And this is really man to include female and males. Our Creator defined the word man as I made man, male and female. So this, if you're thinking to use the word man just only for males, you've got a secular word you're using, and not our Creator's definition. You have made man. I guess this would I would accept this. Why have you made man like the fish in the sea? Fish in the water. And like, this has to be, and like, oh, many creeping I don't like the word thing. I'm just trying to think. That's why I went for a couple seconds with that. Creeping life, and like the many creeping bugs, things that might just be the winner of that one. They have no ruler over them. And we know this is wrong. Let's see. Without a ruler over them. But they did have a ruler over them. They were ruled by kings. I don't know, but without a ruler over them, that stuns me. I'm trying to think and I can't, and I'm trying to do this as fast as I can too. It looks like it's going to be a 3-hour deal to go through this. This is only not even a third of the way through. Without a ruler over them, they bring everyone up like with a hook. And it might mean they might bring them up. And drag them away with their net. Without a ruler over them, without a captain over them, I guess, but I know Babylon has a captain, so, or they have commanders. Even without a god over them, they bring everyone, yeah, even, I think that, even without a god, even without a God over them. They bring everyone up like a hook. And take them away, not drag, but take. They're taking away captives here is what this is pretty much saying. And take them away. So, what do you put your fish in if you're on a boat? You don't put them in your net. They take them away in, I'm going to just change this to in their basket. I'm just thinking that it would be something that could have been weaved, could be used, got wet, re-dried, still reused, and take them away in their baskets. For they gather them together like a fishing net. For they gather their people. For they gather people together like a fishing net. For they gather people together like a fishing net and rejoice. They gather people together like a fishing net. To rejoice and be glad. For they gather people together like a fishing net. And rejoice with gladness, I guess. And they rejoice with gladness and offer a sacrifice. That's, hey, putting the God in here did just right. Because who are they going to offer to? And so the word God here is better off than you thought. Better than me. I forgot what, when I'm trying to correct, I do forget what's coming up. So even though it took a couple hours just to get these pieces together, and offer a sacrifice to their nets. And then they don't need to burn incense. An offering is quite enough. Because these things are, their catch is large. Yeah, because these things are, their catch is large, and continually slay kingdoms without sparing. And so don't need to have this said. Because through these things, because these things are, their catch is large, and continually they slay kingdoms, and they continually slay. They continually capture. They continually capture kingdoms. This is just not needed. Now this is chapter 2, but it just continues, so it can't be chapter 2, so chapter 2 is going to be gone. This is now him speaking that he knows. This is, like I said, when it talks about his vision, the text we have is what he is kind of talking to our Creator, okay? And then it says, yet I will stand my guard post. Yet I will stand like a guard. Don't need it at a post. Stand like a guard and station myself on the rampart, and I will watch, and I will keep watch to see, and I will keep watch for them. I will keep watch to see them. Now this is more or less, he's heard the prophecies that they're coming, and now he sees how much corruption is in the land. So maybe he did some walking around and seen how bad it was all over the place. Yet I will stand like a guard and station myself on the rampart, and I will keep watch to see what happens. I will keep watch for them. For the simple fact, when we start going to the next text, I quickly went down there, and it's got a hook. Watch for them. What their commander will speak to me. And how I will reply when I am reproved. I'm not sure that's this is chapter 2. What I need to do is I need to take a look at some of those. Yeah, what will I reply? What? Oh, yeah. Well, I can see the challenge of this word, and why is 200 times. So, and what? Speak to me, and what I will reply. Because how is a past tense description? How? Well, how is maybe, how will you do something? Not really a past tense. A what is a past tense? Because then you've got to tell what it's about. What their commander will speak to me, and how I will reply. Okay, I guess I'll live with that. And reproved only once, rebuked. And when how will I apply when I am rebuked? Okay, I think that's the better word, rebuked. Like, he's going to tell him better leave, and he's going to say, why? Now, Notice how the format is changing to a 4-verse, okay? I'm just saying, then all of a sudden we have a 3-verse and we have a 4-verse and a 4-verse. And these, and YV answered me and said, record this vision. And inscribe it on clay tablets. Now, if you know anything what goes on with clay, it means that you can't change anything in there. Okay? Inscribe it on clay tablets, because that, once you understand that it's clay tablets and they make the markings in it, there's no way anybody can go along and change it. So, and inscribe it on clay tablets, on a not tablets, because this is going to be short, on a clay tablet, for who reads it may run. Inscribe it on a clay tablet for the one for the ones who read it will run, not may. Our creator doesn't do a maybe, okay? Just saying. There's no maybe there. Okay. Well, I still got 8 minutes, so I'm going to try to do something a little bit hurrying. For the vision is yet to be appointed time. It hastens towards the goal. Well, I was cutting up food earlier and I still got onion on my hand and I just wiped my eye. That's not good. That's not good. Okay. And for this vision is yet for the appointed time, yet it hastens towards my goal. Oops. My goal. And it will not fail. Okay. These are our Creator's words. Though it tarries, wait for it will certainly come. It will not be delayed. Behold, as for the proud ones, and they're the evil ones. Evil ones are the ones that are against evil ones. Not proud. These are the ones that, like the text said earlier, they're not obeying his commandments, okay, or his laws. I changed it to commandments. Behold your evil ones. I see here, I could say, if I put I see your evil ones, and their souls their souls are not right within them. Not right, but are not righteous. And their souls are not righteous. Are not righteous within them, but the righteous will live by his faith. The righteous will live by my words. Not faith. They're following his commands, so by my words. By my words. Okay, this was a 3 verse. Oh, this doesn't need to be even here is what I came up with earlier. I don't see this having anything to connect with being a 4 verse, okay? So wine betrays a haughty man, does not stay alone, a largest appetite likes. No, I don't see it. I just don't see it. And they are like doth, never satisfied. And they are I'm not sure death is the right word. I'm thinking as I'm working here. And they are like the greedy, never satisfied. Death can't be satisfied. This has to be greedy. Now, you might want to complain about that word. That might be the first word in here that you probably are kind of like, you're making it yours. So I guess I will give that a distinction. Then, okay, just to let you know, I know what you're thinking there. They are like the greedy, for they are never satisfied. But they will be gathered. Now this is talking about this changed directions. He's talking about what will tarry will certainly come. Okay, these that are being greedy, these are the ones that are coming, okay? This is the vision that's being told here. 1 hour is up. Okay, I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to correct the text, show you what happened in the beginning of this, and if it ends up being 3, probably 3, then you know, I'll let you know, but we did really good here. I'm liking doing a lot of the work ahead of time. It's easier for me to explain the text. especially when you understand that you could take the same text from, I think it's BibleHub.com, that you could, I think, copy each these chapters of Habakkuk in text. Maybe you've got a Bible program that could do the same, and you would, then when you do it and you see how I did it, you could almost probably repeat the same thing and see how I had stuck these together in groups. Anyways, time for part 2.